Hello friends, today we'll be having a very important and conceptual session on data types. What are data types? How many types? How to use and define them in our program? Let's have a look. So, data types, they are the attribute of data. They tells the compiler or the programmer how we are intend to use the data, means what type of data we want to insert in our variable. Now how to define it? We define it by the values it can take. Let's say if you have to store integer in some variable and have to do some calculation, so we will use integer data type. Similarly, if we need some string, then we have to use the string data type. Similarly, there are real, float, string. So based on this definition, we have around 4 categories of data types like primitive data type, composite data type, extended data type, and collection classes. Let's have a look on these types. The primitive data type in Dynamics 365 are anytype, boolean, date, enum, GUID, integer, real, string, UTC date time, time of day. Let us see in the system. So let me open this table which we created in our last class, pp underscore test table. If I click on fields, let me add one field. So when you right click it in new, you can see all the data types that I can use to create any field. So I have string, integer, real, date, time, UTC date time, enum, container. This container, this is composite data type that we will come later on this topic. Container GUID int64. So these are the data types available in X++. Let me create a runnable class that is also known as job to execute or to explain this concept. So I will create one job, add new item, code. See, this runnable class is not job. I will name it as pp score type. Let me declare the. So to declare any integer, my syntax is int. I need to store integer value in employee id. So I will create one variable, another. Let's say I have to store name. So for name, I can use string in empl name. Then what we can take salary. So salary is the real, so we have to use the real type of data type, real salary. To assign value empl id. So this integer type, you can see we have defined it, this variable as a integer, so we have to assign integer value 1. Employee name is string type. So for string we have to use this double column, name Charlie, and salary is real. Any amount we can write, let's say 4,000. So if you want to print it, for print the command is info. Now so in our variable we have integer also, we have real type also, then we have to use strfmt syntax. String format, you have to convert it as we want it to get printed in our screen. First I want to print this, I can write the sequence. Two %3. So the first I want to print is, that is employee ID. Second I want to print employee name. Third I want to print salary. So we declare this variable, first is integer type, another is string, then real. So all these three are primitive data type. We have assigned the value, this is integer type, this is string, this is real. Now we want to print it, so for print the command is info, and we have to use strfmt because we have integer also and real also. So we have to first convert into the string format. That's why we have used this strfmt command. Now to execute this, we have to set this as a startup project. So in the job, we have to right click and we have to set as startup project. Let me start this project to see our desired result. See, now we got the desired result. This is the employee ID, this is the employee name Charlie, this is the salary. Now it's printed on the screen. So by this way you can define the data type, assign the value and print it on the screen. Now if there are 3 employees, then in that case if we use primitive data type, we need to define variables multiple times, like for first employee integer employee id1, for another then again we have to declare integer employee id2. Like that we have to declare multiple times the same variable because number of employees are more. So in order to ease this, we can use composite data types, for example array, containers. So what is an array? An array is a variable that contains a list of items that have the same data type. We'll see this in the system. First I will comment this code. So I will write for array. So you declare it pl id. Let's say there are 3 employees, so we can write this that the elements of an array, these are accessed by using integer indexes. Right now I am declaring it. So this array is of type integer, is employee id. Now another is string. Now to assign value. So now we have to give the integer index. So first employee, the ID is 10001. Two. Here is the last one. Now we have to define for name also. Name of the first employee is, we use the same, Charlie. Let's say Nancy. PMPL name. John. Let us assign value in salary variable also. The salary of the first employee is 4,000. Salary of second is 3,000. Salary of third is 2,000. Now to get this printed on the screen, I can use for loop. As I told you, the elements of the array are accessed by using integer indexes. Where I can declare one variable, integer type I, for I equal to 1. Equal to 3. As we have 3 employees, so I will start from first employee, it will go till third. What I want to get printed is, I will write here the same info. I can use the same code. See, only in this case you have to write indexes I. Let me build this. Semicolon expected. Okay, here we will not close this. It's done. Again I will build it. So now this is ready. So let me start this. Build is in process. Our build is done. So we are getting some best practices error, that we will see what are the best practices while writing the program. Let me start this. See, now here you can see we got our desired result. Employee 1 name Charlie, this is the salary. Employee 2 name, salary. Employee 3 name and salary. If I would have used the container, it is more easy compared to array and primitive data types. Primitive data types, we have seen the example here, like we have declared int, string, real, and also it is more useful than array also. Container, we can see in container object is a dynamic list of items that contains primitive data types also and composite data types also. So you can pass the same data type in, and also you can pass multiple data types. We will see here. Let me comment this first. Take this. Now container, what you can do, you can write container employee ID. Right now we are not defining any type of data we want to insert. We are just defining container. In runtime we can assign different data types in these variables. So this we have declared, this is container. We can assign value also. Define int I also. So in one line we can assign multiple values. This is type string, so we will pass string. See, so let us assign value in salary. Take 4,000. We can use the same for loop. Only difference here is that instead here you have to use, to get the value from container, the method is conpeek. Employee ID, right. Conpeek employee name. So by this way you can use the container. I will build it. Some bracket expected, will place one bracket. Again I will build it. I will start this project to see the desired results. See, now our results is printed on the screen. Employee name, salary, this employee 2, name and salary. So how easy it is to use the containers. For now, in this example, I have shown only same type of data types in one container. So in one container variable, you can pass multiple data types also. So we have seen primitive data types, composite data types. In composite data types, we have seen array. We have seen the example of containers also, how to use containers. Now if you have to use object, if you want to store objects, then there are concept of collection classes. They let you create list, sets, map, structs that can hold any type of data, even objects. So these collection classes previously known as foundation classes. So we have right now in the dynamic structure list, map, set. You can create set, struct. So now comes to the important data types, that is extended data type, and also there is one more data type we have not covered till yet, that is primitive data type, that is enum. Enum is a primitive data type that we will see, because these data types enum and edt we are going to use very frequently while development. So let us understand these types. Enums. So enums, it is a enumerable data type which is list of literals. So to define a fixed set of values we use enum. Let us create the enum. We'll go to the data dictionary, add new item. How to create enum we will see. Data types, base enum. So this is used when we want to create a fixed set of values. Relation. Okay, we will label it as relation. Now the elements, the literals in the enum are called elements. Now we have to create new elements. A new element, base enum value, we will name it as, let's say, child. Again new element, spouse, this first also we will name it. There are two things, one is name, one is label. In name we will also write child. Name we use, we refer in our program, so naming of this name is very important. Label is just to display what you want to display in your forms. Name we refer in our programs. We can create one more elements, one more literal in this enum. We can name it as parent. Label also parent. So we have created one enum named as relation. In this we have fixed set of literals, fixed element, fixed set of values, that is child, spouse and parent. So this is the type of enum, and this is primitive data type. Like gender, male, female, this is also a fixed set of values. So like this we create enum. And by default any elements, like we have seen child, spouse, parent, they take values in order in which they are created. So first we created child, the first element has the value 0, the second element has the value 1, and so on. So we can declare up to 251 literals in a single enum type. So 0 to 250 we can define the elements in this. So in the program, if I have to use any enum, how to do it? Just I will show you an example. like gender is also an enum. Gender, you can just try the scope resolution operator, you can see the elements like this. You can use your enums in your program. Now we will come to the extended data type. So extended data type, I will close this. Now comes extended data types. What are extended data types? Extended data types are user defined data types. These data types we define, and these are based on primitive data types and on the container composite type. So basically we define our own data type by using primitive data type or a container data type. And what we assign a supplementary name and additional properties. Let us create a EDT. So to create a EDT, now this data type we are defining ourselves and by using primitive data type. So let's create that EDT. In this data type we will select integer. Let's create employee ID, and employee ID is an integer, like we have seen in our last example. In primitive data type we have declared int employee ID. So right now we are creating our own data type as empl ID. This is based on integer, so I'll select empl ID and so now this is created employee ID. Now what I will do here, I will give the supplementary name. I have given employee ID, also I can write the label empl ID. See now how easy to read code. Instead of writing int, we can use this EDT. So it is very easy to read. So that is the first advantage of using EDT. So now we can use this EDT anywhere in our programs. So last we declared int, then variable name. What we can do from now, if we have already created our own data type employee ID, now we can use the same data type across all our program. So advantages are code is easier to read because variables have a meaningful data type. For example, now data type is employee ID instead of int. Let me create one more EDT. That is the employee birth date. So what we can do, if we can use primitive data, we can directly write date, then we can give the name of the variable birth date. But instead using that primitive data type, what we are doing now, we are creating our own extended data type. That is, we will name it as empl birth date. So what type of we have to take EDT date. So this is the extended data type. This is the user defined data type based on date primitive data type, and the name we are giving it empl birth date. Birth date. See how easy to create it, and it is very easy to read code if you use the EDT. Instead of reading the variables, instead of int, I have created employee ID. Instead of date, I have created empl birth date. Now I can use this EDT wherever I need to use this in my program. So let me create one more EDT that maybe we need in our program that we are going to write in our next class. That is the pay elements. What is pay element? So that EDT, let me create the pay element for edit. Pay elements are nothing but they are various components of a pay structure, like combination the total of which forms the salary. For example, like basic, we have basic, HRA, travel allowance. These all are my pay elements, combination of which is my salary. So let me create that EDT pay element, and in that EDT I am going to use while creating the tables for salary in my next class. So I want to create that EDT now only. So what is the objective of this EDT? We are going to store the pay elements. So pay elements, the structure is like basic, HRA, travels, allowance, all these are string type. So I have to use EDT of string. So what is the name? Pay elements. It's very easy to create. You can name it pay elements. I can increase the string size 20. Now wherever I will use this pay element, I'll get the string size of 20. So I have done the standardization of date data type. Date is the primitive data type. I have created my own defined like user defined data type, that is the pay element. So this is the concept of extended data type. So to summarize, EDT are standard data types, but they have specific name and additional properties. Treatment for EDT is same as of standard data type. They undergo the same value and type conversion. Right, so we completed data type session. You practice it, do some hands-on. See you all in my next video. Thank you.